What's going on, everybody? My name is Repvile. Today, well, I kind of took one for the team. So against what's probably my better judgment, I went out and bought myself a copy of ARK Survival Evolved for the Nintendo Switch. Now, there are quite a few review videos out there right now for ARK on the Switch. Unfortunately, most of those videos don't seem to be by people that are actually familiar with ARK. I'm by no means an ARK expert, but I've put a hell of a lot of hours into this game, and it's quickly become one of my favorite games of all time, despite its flaws, and it does have a lot of flaws. Sometimes it doesn't run perfect, and the development team pretty much could give a shit about you, let's be honest. But the game is super fun. I love playing ARK, I love making ARK videos, and basically what I wanted to do is bring to you an overview video from the perspective of somebody that is actually familiar with this game, and how the game's supposed to play, how it's supposed to look, and how basically the overall function of it. So today I'm going to give you my first impressions of the single player aspect of the game. When we start the game up, I'm going to go through some of the settings that you can play with, how I think maybe you can tweak them a little bit to get a little bit more enjoyment out of the single player aspect. And then we'll show off some of the game, and then I'll tell you basically what I think about it overall so far. Well, at least the splash screen looks like every other version. So get used to hearing this song in your head constantly if you play this game a lot. So you've got a few options here when you first start the game. Let me show you Join ARK here for a minute. If you want to play with your friends, this is where you're going to have to go. But unfortunately, yeah, you're going to need that Nintendo Online account. Yeah, that kind of sucks, So if you don't have it, you're basically going to have an empty server list. Another thing that kind of sucks right now, I was holding out for there might be an option for crossplay with, maybe Xbox at the least, but no. So far there's no crossplay with anything. Okay, so here we have all your gameplay options, for the audio, for the graphics, and the graphics list, you pretty much have control of nothing. So the only options you really have is to change the size of the user interface, like your in-screen menu and your toolbar at the bottom of the screen. Of course, you can change your controller input sensitivity, which you're going to want to do. I would leave that default survivor items checked. If you buy any DLC or if you get any special items, every time you respawn, that'll respawn with you. Take note though, sometimes it will clutter up your personal storage that you have on you. And if you want to see where your friends are or where your dinosaurs are, leave that floating names checked. Otherwise, it can be a little bit hard to keep track of everything. All right, so if you want the wild dinosaurs to spawn at a little bit higher level, just check that difficulty. Just put the slider all the way up. Now, I like to change the XP to at least 2. Taming multiplier. You're gonna find that some of the stuff takes forever to tame in this game, so I bump that up a little bit, and I think you can type numbers into these sections still. Stamina drain, water drain. To me, it drains way too fast. I turn those down. I mean, all this stuff is up to you. It's personal choice, but these settings are kind of like how I like to have it. So I turn the stamina drain down on my dinosaurs and for my character, just because I like to be able to run or fly just a little bit further than normal. Dinosaur count, bump that up as far as you can. That is if you want a lot of creatures around. If you don't, then you can slide it down, but you're gonna have a hard time finding dinosaurs to kill. And if you want to make it easy to find your stuff after you die, keep that use corpse locator checked, because it'll show a green beam of light down from the sky where your body's laying. Alright, on to the advanced settings. You can control how your structures decay, if you want to decay rate on them. A lot of these settings in advanced are only pertinent to a multiplayer mode. So if you want to be allowed to build in caves, and some people do, you can check that allow cave building. So there are diseases in the game that you can catch, like super rabies. So if you don't want to get that, you can check mark that prevent diseases. You probably should check mark the non-permanent diseases, so the stuff will go away after a little while. Change how often you poop. Could be important to you, probably not. The lay egg interval, you know, you can adjust that so your creatures will lay eggs faster, and you can change how often they mate. For me, I like to adjust those a little bit faster. You can change how fast you want your creatures to mature, how long it takes them to grow into adults. Now this might be an important one. If you slide this all the way down, your resources are going to respawn a little bit faster. The rocks, the metal, the trees. I've found that in the stock setting, they take way too long to come back. Okay, if you don't want the night, or you want to change some aspect of the day, you want the days longer, you want the night shorter, you can change that here as well. You can change the stats of the wild dinos, you can make them stronger, make their health less. Your tame dinos, honestly, I set everything to pretty much even, and one's across the board. Now some people might say this is gonna overpower them, and it does to an extent, but you're gonna, you might like this setting earlier in the game. Keep in mind though, this is for single player settings, so you're not gonna have the benefit of taking a team of guys down the cave with you. It might just be you and a bunch of raptors going in there. Okay, if you like floating damage like MMOs, you can turn that on here. Okay, now on to the map options. Right now, all we have available is the island. Now, I don't know about you, but charging $49 for this game, and all we have is the one map, when everybody else gets at least Ragnarok and the center, that's half-assing it, man. That pretty much sucks. Now, they did leave in the option of doing a non-dedicated server. The downfall of that is you have this really annoying tethering thing going on to where your teammate can't get too far away from you or slingshots them back, and it's really annoying. Okay, so I did create a character earlier just to familiarize myself with the game a little bit. And what I noticed is while it's loading the map, there comes to a certain point where it just pauses. You don't hear any music, the progress bar kind of stops, and it just sits there for probably 5 minutes or so. So one thing to note, I haven't played this version online yet, so I can't give a good comment on how well it performs online. I will say it does seem to take a lot longer than its console counterparts to load everything up. Alright guys, you hear that? Me neither. This is where it kind of just kind of stalls out. How long does it stall for? Exactly 2 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to skip the character creation. I don't think we really need to go over that. I've already kind of been playing around a little bit. When you spawn, anywhere in the south is probably okay. I like the middle spawn of the south. It puts you in a nice little location. There's not a lot of, enemy dinosaurs. There might be some Sarcos here, but you're probably not going to see any Carnos or Raptors on this part of the island. Alright guys, so here it is in all its glory. And I can tell you, compared to the other versions, it does not look as good. So first off, when you open the menu screen up here, when you hit the B button to get into your inventory, there's a significant delay. I mean, it's like a half second from the time you press the button to the time that it opens up. And that's probably going to get you killed at some point, because you need to get in that menu, you need to get in that inventory pretty quick sometimes. So I don't want to make this a how-to video, but if you haven't played this before, what you're going to want to do right off the bat, smash some trees, pick up some rocks, and make yourself a pickaxe, and then you can make a normal axe, club, once you gain a couple levels. Alright, so looking around, so you can tell everything is just a little bit, it's got this haze to it, this blurriness that you don't see in the other console versions. And you can see, even loading the little pictures of the items, it just takes, there's a delay there. That's not, you don't see that in the other versions. And the animation's okay. when you hit your button to punch, that all seems to be okay. And you see there's a little bit of stutter there. You're going to see that, you know, seems to be a lot more in this version. So we're just going to make a pickaxe here real quick. Like, creating the items seems okay. Even putting, like, foundations down, all that seems pretty normal. But the textures are, yeah, they're really scaled back. Now, once you get up close to them, they seem okay. But the further back you get, they get really washed out. Alright, so when you look at the trees from a distance, they almost have this, like, watercolor look to them. They don't really look like that in the Xbox or the PS4 version. Not to this extent. There's something I noticed right off the bat. You see that like ghosting into the water. Like, that's really bad in this version. And the water almost has like a foggy look to it, you know? You see what I'm seeing with the textures? Once you get up close, it's not so bad, but the further you get, they really start to get blurry. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure the Switch can do a little bit better than this. I'd expected it to be at least on par with the Xbox. Now everybody's talking about pop-up. Yeah, the pop-up's pretty bad with this. I mean, you're gonna get pop-up with all the other versions, even on the PC. But it's a little bit weird on this compared to the other ones, because the pop-up's so close. Here's something I wish you could turn off. You know, turn off those rays from the sun. Like, that's just, it's not really needed. I'd like to have the option to turn it off. Even some of the shadows I'd like to be able to turn off. You know, I think we could get a little bit better performance out of it. Well, it looks like we've got a pteranodon stuck in the tree or the rock over here. Let's see how fuzzy he looks. It's like looking through a glass or something, kind of, right? And there's that stuttering. Now, everything sounds good. Like, the sound's fine. Let's see how the closer you get. Now he looks, you know, he looks normal, like the other versions look. But the further you get back, it's almost like everything's covered in Vaseline or something. Maybe not quite that extreme, but it's just foggy. Everything's got this foggy look to it. Alright, I'm gonna have to come back for that guy, because he's gonna be an easy tame when they're stuck in the tree like that. Alright, let's check the water out. It just has this odd look to it compared to the other ones. You know? So here's what I'm going to do in an upcoming video. I'm going to compare this to the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, which looks really, really good. And for shits and giggles, we'll just compare it to the Windows version as well. You see, the water starts to look better the closer you get to it, but the further away, man, it just... They cut a lot back on this version. Oh, and check this out. This is something I noticed too. When you go into, you know, back to the home screen, just give it a minute. And once you go back in the game, to see how everything just kind of has to re-render? We'll try it again. Yeah, you don't see that on the other versions. Like, even just going back and forth here. Now, I understand this is the Switch. They had to make some decisions, I guess, but I think the Switch can do a lot better than this. And you'd think in handheld mode it might be a little bit better. You wouldn't notice it as much. If anything, it runs worse. And still with that menu delay. I'm serious. It's probably like a half-second delay from when you hit the button to get into your inventory to when it actually comes up. Another thing I've noticed compared to all the other versions, the amount of dinos on the map seems to be significantly less. Now, I could be completely wrong about that. I haven't been everywhere to be 100% making that determination, but so far it seems like I should be seeing a lot more creatures than I am right now. Now, I did see a Bronto over here, so let's go take a look at that. Hopefully he's still over here. See, I know you could see that stuttering, and just bringing up the menu, it has a little glitch to it. A couple pteranodons. What is? Oh, Sarco. Hopefully he doesn't see me. Even if he does, with the Sarcos, we're pretty. If you get one of these things chasing you, just zigzag through the trees. It usually will get caught. I'll say at least the frame rate mostly is pretty consistent, but I do notice a little bit more stuttering than the other console versions. It just seems to happen a little bit more frequently. Oh, god damn. See, I couldn't even see those compies. They were so, like, blurred out. So a lot of people they're saying somebody else should have handled the port over to the Switch. Whoever handled Warframe, come on, I don't think those guys are miracle workers. You got to understand, there is a lot that goes on in this game. There's thousands of creatures all over this map. The game has to keep... Oh shit, there's a Sarco. Well, there's a lot of fish in the water there. I mean, it's like I was saying, the game's got to keep track of every rock you break, every piece of wood. It's got to, keep track of when it's supposed to grow back. There's a lot of stuff that happens, like, that I think we kind of forget about, so... Just getting this game on the Switch is kind of a big feat. I just think it could look a lot better, and it could perform a lot better. You're seeing a little bit of stuttering back there. So the Bronto that was here is not here anymore. I don't know where it went. There's nothing really should be around here that would have killed it. It just kind of disappeared, I guess. So I'm just going to run up the river here, and you can get a kind of feel of how it renders everything when you're running. So you can kind of see, yeah, so I can tell that's a baryonyx right there, but it's so blurry, man. Like, you could be up on that thing really quick, and it'd be over for you, because you just didn't see it in time. I mean, I know from experience what that dinosaur is, but you can barely make it out right now. Oh, and yeah, forget about it now. I can't see his ass at all in the water. So look at the pig here. Like, you get up to him, he looks pretty good up close. See all those tree pop-ins? Man, it's just... I mean, that's not game-breaking. It doesn't really take out the immersiveness for me. Because the game still... It still performs like it does on the other versions. It just doesn't look as good. Check out these stegos. Ah, you little bastard compies. These little sons of bitches, man. When you're low level, they can like wreak havoc on you if you're not careful. There's so many of them. Oh, see, now there's what I'm talking about. Like, that was a little bit annoying. I don't know if it's just because there was so much going on back there. Man, see, he's still stuttering. What is going on with that fish? So I don't see the baryonyx. I know he's here somewhere. Oh god, I hear him. Where is he? Oh Jesus, right in my face. Yeah. Well, sound effects, music, everything is the same. I can't tell any difference there. Definitely a visual downgrade, though. Now, I don't want to dissuade anybody from picking ARK up. at its core, the gameplay is the same across all platforms. It just doesn't look as pretty on this one. Now, there's that stuttering. If this was the only console you had to play it on, by all means, pick it up because the game's fun. And if you can get a group together to play with, it could be even more fun. See, he looks pretty good up close. And he's stuck in the tree. Right now he'd be a really easy tame. I would just bash the crap out of him with a club. Further back you get, it starts getting all hazy and washed out. So the promotional videos that Wildcard put out for this game, and I think it's probably still up on their website, it definitely did not come from in-game footage from the Switch. I'm not sure which console, or it might even have been off the PC, but it wasn't from here. Let's be honest. Now you might think the handheld version would look a little bit better. Honestly, it might be even a little bit worse than this. Well, I'll let you decide. Let's take a look here real quick. Now keep in mind, I am kind of recording this from a camera pointing down onto the Switch. So it may not be a perfect representation of what you're going to see. But I kind of thought it would look a little bit better being on such a small screen. And it really doesn't look much different. You know, get up close, he looks pretty good. Same issue, you get back and everything just washes out. You do have that same pop-in problem with the trees. And all the trees from a distance, they look like watercolors. It just looks so different from what I'm used to. Alright guys, well, my thoughts so far, I'm a little bit disappointed in the game. I think the graphical downgrade is a little bit worse than it should have been. I mean, I'm not a programmer, I don't know. I think the Switch could do a lot better than this. The fact that all the maps aren't there, that's kind of a bummer, man. Hopefully they're good on it and they release all the DLC, or at least Ragnarok in the center. I mean, there seems to be a lot bigger of a stuttering issue than the other versions. But like I said, at its core, it's still ARK. It's still a fun game once you get over the graphical downgrade. If you have the means to play this on any other system, I would definitely pick those over this. But if you really want to play ARK and all you have is a Nintendo Switch, by all means, pick the game up. Hopefully they'll release the rest of the content. Now when I bought this game, I was already aware of the graphic limitations and that all the DLC wasn't there yet. But just being able to play this in a portable form, that made it worth it to me. Now hopefully, with the video footage I've showed you today, you're going to be able to make a better decision on whether it's going to be worth it to you or not. Now if you want to check back, I'm going to do some comparison videos with the Xbox One X, and probably just for the hell of it, I'll even compare it to the Windows version. Alright guys, hope you liked the video, hope you got something out of it. You know, if you did, if you liked it, have a look around. I've got a lot of other content on here, especially ARK videos, a Monster Hunter. Alright guys, see ya.